Um, Fair, I had the bright idea to do laundry. I thought, okay, I'm not going to clean bathrooms. I did that when I was in the military. I'm done with that. I'm going to do laundry. Bad idea.
Really?
Bad idea. Keep in mind that you're doing laundry for yourself and for your wife as well.
Sure.
So it's a lot of clothes.
Oh, women's clothing is different than men's clothing.
Different. It's really different. And the clothing that she buys you better take care of it. I was spending, just for the two of us, around 30 minutes a day just on laundry.
Astaghfirullah.
And I was confused. Now there were labels and mashallah, blouses with sweaters that I shrunk. I was confused. And it was taking a lot of my time. And I hated it. I hated every minute of it. From thinking about washing to sorting the whites and the blacks and then the colors and then what goes into the machine, what is air dry, because if you dry everything, they're going to shrink. Into taking it out and then pressing. That took a lot of time.
You were doing even pressing and ironing?
I agreed. I said, I want to do the whole thing.
Impressive. And wallahi impressive.
Bad idea.
I'm surprised you even took it on. I'm amazed.
متحمس توك متزوج.
Hey, you want to look good.
Yes, I'm going to help out, you know. Yeah. We're different, yeah.
احنا مش ابونا.
فقلت, I'm going to do it all. Took a lot of my time. And I was surprised. لأن ليش؟ أنا كنت في بيت أمي الله يحفظها يعني في البيت you just drop everything in a laundry basket وpoof, next day everything's
magic,
ready.
huh?
Nobody knows how. It's
magic.
Just there. Next day fresh, smells good, ready to go. ولو بجيح ساعات if it's late تتحلطم. But you don't know the process behind it. Anyways, opened up a whole new world to me when I moved to the apartment. And I said, okay, so you know what? We need to do some things at home and find a laundry. I started going around in the market and I was, let's just put it this way, I wasn't satisfied. يعني من اللي شفته. I tried to use a few of the apps on the market, but again, it did not fulfill my need لأن my intention at the time was to get rid of laundry.
Okay.
I decided. It took a lot of time. I said, you know what? I'm not going to just give them a few things, الشماغ والغترة وذي. قلت لا, I just want to get rid of laundry. وطبعا my pride wouldn't say, no, you please do it. I couldn't. But no, عندي حل. So I'm going to get rid of laundry.
ما حنقدم بالوجهك. بالضبط.
My objective, like I said, was to completely outsource laundry, to find a way that is efficiently, easy, simple to use, and I couldn't find it. And the whole market is shaped in such a way that people prefer to do laundry at home, whether themselves or through help or شغال or whatever it is. And the items that cannot be washed at home, يروح برا.
طبعا.
And that's how the market has been built for years, for quite some time. يعني أنا أقول لك من ال 60s, 70s لليوم. They're dry cleaners and everything is at home. But that's not what I was looking for. I كنت أبي حل. I told my wife, like I said, look, I tried doing it at home. I looked at the shops barra. I tried a few apps, but there's something that's just not clicking and I'm surprised. I said, you know what, let's build it. I'm going to do an app just to get back at these people. It was a joke.
Okay.
I didn't mean it.
Okay.
But there was a spark.
That's how I ended up with a dog. Same exact story.
Interesting. فكل يوم قبل ما أنام, it's just قلت لك في spark. I'm just thinking about it every day. And I started doing some research. I started really getting into it. And then I was like, this is it. Because I've been looking I always knew I wanted to start my own business. I always knew that the corporate lifestyle was not for me. And even though I did well, alhamdulillah, but again, I knew it wasn't for me. I was never happy. I was never satisfied, right? But I always also knew that I needed to find something where your gut feeling is telling you, just do it, لا تفكر. And this was it. I started looking into it more and more and more. And I woke up, I told my wife I'm quitting my job.
And how long was that process between you having that spark of idea and you saying to you? 1 month. So 1 month it's been in your head.
Every day.
Every day you're thinking about it. Every night you're going to sleep. Every time you're doing the laundry, you're thinking.
Man, لا, it was an obsession for a month.
My God. Okay.
Guilt. I'm quitting my job.
And what did your boss say?
Not my boss. Let's start with my wife.
Okay. That's nice. You involved her in the decision. That's good.
Lazim.
Again, we're a new generation.
I was very lucky. She was very supportive. She says, I know the way you think. I know who you are. Do it. Let's fuck it. Because if you don't, it's a bigger problem. Just do it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, adi. So I was like, okay, good. I've got that settled. Went to work, submitted my resignation, told my boss. And he came back to me, says, what are you doing? I said, no, I'm joining a startup. That's what I said. I'm joining a startup. And then he says, are you crazy? He says, it's COVID. People are losing their jobs. You just got married. Like, what are you doing? I said, okay, let me rephrase. I'm starting a startup. He says, oh, man, fly.
Yeah.
He just said, go, let's fakir.
And
that was nice. Salah Gali, just do it. I know
and that was your first customer as well.
I know you. He says, I know you do it. Yeah, don't think twice. That was that. And again, going back to why it all started, right? I was looking for a solution. We laid out a plan and we said, you know what? We're going to build something different. And I know it's cliche, but we want to reimagine laundry, right?
Okay.
And we kind of reverse re-engineered it, start backwards, as they say.
Okay. And
we literally spent 6 months just working on the user journey, customer experience, UI, UX.
MashaAllah.
ما فكرت في business model. Did not put a thought into it. And I did that on purpose. I told them, nobody think about business model. Nobody think about logistics.
We'll make the numbers work.
We'll find a way.
Yeah.
Okay? Nobody think about these things, how we're going to do it, where we're going to do it. Just think about what is the problem you're going to solve. And from a customer perspective, how are you going to solve it? For 6 months doing nothing, just that. I quit my job, right? And I was just working day in, day out on the customer journey, the UI, UX, understanding who the customers are, walking, kind of going through the whole process with all the different personas, all the different segments. Right?
At that point, did you have some help, a team or something like that you hired, or was it just you?
Initially, I'll put it this way, my first partner was my wife.
Okay.
She worked with me on the branding. We worked with the company, but she's a designer as well. Okay. She helped me out with a lot of these things. And I also have a buddy of mine who was with me in London and we were doing our masters. And every time I'd meet him once a week over a cigar. And the relationship I had with this guy was really, we just talked about life and business, right? It's like an offline podcast. So that's all we used to talk about, life, business. People
don't do that anymore, do they?
No.
It's strange, huh?
And that was really our relationship. We had a very good relationship, but we weren't the type of, نطلع طلعة ولا هذه. This is what we talked about. And he tried being an entrepreneur, it didn't work. He went into the whole corporate lifestyle, but he knew he had that fire in him and he had a few ideas. He started a business. And one thing I loved about this guy was he's really curious. He reads a lot. We used to talk about books all the time. And he's a workaholic. He has a can-do attitude, right? When I introduced the idea to him, I said, listen, the Uber for laundry, this is what I'm doing. I quit my job. And he started helping me every single day. And I said, Nasser, just join. Why don't you join? He didn't think about it. He said, I'm in. I said, okay, basib shat, quit your job. Then you're in. Follow the same path that I did. Quit your job, then you're in. Now the whole UI, UX, everything is ready. I need somebody now to help me build the operations. No business model yet. Focus on the operation. How do we facilitate what we want? And you're the guy. Oh, he quit his job. Did not think twice about it.
Then suddenly you had burden. Suddenly you didn't just have a wife, you also had now a partner, an employee. That puts a lot of pressure on you.
It was exciting, man. Especially in the first couple of days. It still is best. And at that part, like somebody just joined you. So somebody believes in your vision. That feeling is crazy. Right? That's how you think about it. The burden is there, of course. But the way you see it is, okay, so I'm onto something. He believes in what the vision is. So it's really motivation more than anything, right?
Validation, absolutely.
Yes. And a huge weight lifted off your shoulders because you've got now somebody taking on the reins and trying to figure out how to focus on this side of the business while you're still working on your core, right? Which is product, customers, the whole user experience. And we started building the product. 2 more months down the line, we're done. We've set up the whole operations, everything is ready to go.
This is month 8.
Ish.
Yeah.
Business model time. Now, I love data analytics. That was actually my major in the States. I knew finance and business model and that whole business side of things, right? The business acumen that comes with a lot of people. I knew that I did not want to focus a lot on this. I wanted to stick with the whole strategy and the vision of the company and building this whole product that we think are going to change people's lives, right? So I brought in a third partner. And his sole focus is the whole business model, the whole finances side of things, the legal side of things. Right?
And how did you find them?
So the third partner is somebody I actually grew up with.
Okay, so still you're internal. Everything's internal. Everything is so far just through friend circle. You haven't looked through other pages.
I did. It's not like I didn't.
Okay.
But the thing with this third guy is toughest negotiator I've met.
Okay. He doesn't pay for dinner.
No, relax. He'll make sure the bill is right.
Okay.
He's that guy.
Okay. Fun to hang out with.
If you want a free meal from Talabat, just speak to Sud.
Yeah.
If they did something wrong and you want it for free, just speak to him. Yeah? He's that guy.
Okay.
Mashallah alayh, he's really driven. He's very strict. He's that type of partner. You know, he focuses on numbers, focuses on our bottom line, top line, focus on the legal side of things, on negotiations, managing vendors. A lot of people would say they would call the dirty work, where
he
things
loves
that
it.
you have to do to run the business. He loves it because he excels in it, right? So we built our team, we started hiring people, started developing the product, and we launched. And I don't know if you have the history, but we launched with a waiting list. Have you ever heard of a waiting list for laundry?
Never. MashaAllah alayk.
It worked.
Can you open the Instagram down so people also know what the business is and the images of it? Okay, so we know the branding.
Yep.
Okay, I like it.
Not your typical laundry.
Absolutely. And how did you build that customer expectation? How did you build that people were already waiting?
We created that excitement.
Okay.
We created something that is. So we said, okay, where is the business going? It's a traditional business.
Sure.
Laundry is treated as a commodity today, right? And it's a massive business. And all of them are kind of, when I say all or most of them are kind of going in the same direction.
Sure.
In terms of pricing, branding, kada. But we said we're going to go the exact opposite way, right?
Offer free laundry.
You can.
That would be one hell of a lost leader. Can you imagine?
Depends what are you trying to achieve.
I think if
you're just trying to piss a few people off, yeah, sure, do it. Yeah.
I think
just disrupt the market and leave. Cause damage
and go away. Yeah. Well, I think if you offer like let's say 1 month free laundry for a 1-year contract that is signed, I think you would have people like knocking on your door. I think.
So we're a D2C business, right? We're not a B2B.
Not yet, I assume, or no interest.
Not yet. We don't have any interest yet. Let me put it that way. What's different about us? Let's start from the customer side of things, right? No call center.
Okay.
No shop. No brick and mortar shop, right? So 2 of the things that we're used to today, gone. Application. Live chat in the application. Really friendly team. Extremely friendly customer experience. Like if you call them by mistake and tell them, or you speak to them by mistake and tell them, I want a pizza, they'll get you a pizza.
Oh, okay.
So that's how.
You heard it here then. So let's tell.
Go ahead. Give it a shot.
That's a very beautiful designed app.
Thank you. No, we had an amazing team that really worked on it, in terms of design, branding.
Do you have a lot of the schemes, the colors? Did this come from you and your wife? Or
initially, yeah.
Yeah.
With our initial consultant or branding agency they were working with.
Sure.
So these were the colors that we were going for.
Okay. This is
day one.
Any particular reason why you chose these colors, the 2 of you? Does it represent anything from the 2 of you?
No.
Nope. You just liked it. It just chose you. The color chose you. That's okay.
No story behind it. It's just something that rang a bell for us, so colors that we really liked.
Okay.
The first time I saw these colors were literally I wouldn't say the name, but it was on one of these e-cigarettes.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this color?
Yeah.
And we built on it from there.
Oh, perfect. Hey, if it works, it works.
Okay, so now back to how we're trying to really be different. Like today, when you want to do laundry, you go to a regular shop or even online. It's usually per item, right? The t-shirt costs X, sweater, shirt, trousers. The list goes, it's a really long list with a different pricing for each. And then they ask you, usually, wash or dry clean. They give them your item. You say, okay, sir, do you want it washed or dry clean? What would you say? I'm asking you.
Yeah, I'll probably wash. I don't give a shit about dry cleaning. Unless it's a suit, then it's dry cleaning, obviously.
So why would you pick dry clean for a suit and wash regularly?
Because that's what I just got taught.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So people think more expensive means premium, means better care, صح?
صح.
And dry clean is more expensive, so automatically you would associate that with a better
Quality
service.
service.
Quality of service. No. Big mistake. Some items are just for dry clean, and if you wash them, they'll get
Destroyed.
damaged.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Some items should just be washed, and if you dry clean them, بيختربون. So it depends on the fabric, depends on the item. So that's one thing that we thought about. Again, okay. Now what about that long list of pricing, right? To me, for me, it was one of the headaches at the time. That's why I didn't outsource everything. I said, imagine every week just going through this list and counting what's in my basket. And saying, okay, I've got a shirt, and then I put it there.
And there's a lack of trust as well. You don't know if they're playing with you.
So I said, okay, this we need to get rid of. How? Why? We said we're going to go with the bag concept.
Okay.
Really different. So when you sign up for doobi, you get a welcome kit. And a welcome kit, if you could go back to
the Instagram.
I'll show you the bags. So the welcome kit includes... That's the welcome kit on the right.
On the right, the one
And this includes our doobi bags.
Okay.
So when you get the welcome kit and you try to place an order, you'll just literally pick on the bag that you'd like.
Okay.
Each bag represents a service.
Oh.
So you've got a press-only service. You've got a wash-and-fold service for your casuals. So we call it doobi casuals.
Shatter, I like that.
We have doobi press. We have doobi home for your linens. And then we've got doobi delicates.
Okay.
So that's anything that needs to be delicately washed, pressed, and hanged.
Okay.
We don't tell you how we're going to wash it.
Okay.
We've got an expert to assess and to decide.
Sure.
Right? He checks every fabric, says this is hand washed, this is dry clean, this is
Okay.
So you just pay for the bag. It's one price.
It's very clever.
You don't pay per item, you don't pay per kg. And you can have the bag half full, completely full. It's the same price. You know how much you're paying. It's never going to change.
Okay.
And of course, you're gonna ask me the question, what if I just have one item? What if I just have a shirt that I want to wash? But going back to what I was saying, what was the problem? What was the gap that I was trying to bridge? Today, the behavior is that you do laundry at home and only some items يطلعون برا. But with the bag concept, you're literally telling them, forget about laundry equipment at home. Do everything برا.
Okay.
Right? So that's why the bag is there.
And what's the turnover period?
It's 2 days currently, but we're trying very hard now to bring it down to 1 day.
1 day, okay.
So you just fill up the bag, close the bag, leave it outside the door, driver picks it up, gets it ready, comes back the next day or the day after, and your items are ready to go. As simple as that. So 4 services caters for all of your needs, and everything that you require.
And how does the mechanism work? So is it a subscription program that I pay monthly or something like that?
So currently you pay per bag.
Per bag?
You just choose the bag that you'd like, place the order, pick a slot, driver is there ready to go.
Okay. And the driver then waits downstairs while I put stuff in the bag? Or do they...
The first time.
For the first time, okay.
But once you get the welcome kit, you already have bags with you. And every time you place an order, we give you additional bags for your next order.
Sure.
So we always make sure you've got stock at home.
So my question to you then, sir, is for a branding strategy, if I was in your position, I would contact either DHL or local mail here in Bahrain, and I would pay them to deliver like those bags to just a bunch of addresses in Bahrain. You're looking at me like you already thought about it, right? And I'm guessing the cost was just astronomical, right?
Look, in the beginning of every startup, you need to do things that don't scale.
Sure.
And that includes cost, time, effort.
Sure.
So we did that.
Okay.
It wasn't through DHL or anyone. We have our own logistics capability currently, so we did it ourselves.
That's smart. Even better.
And I started with my apartment building, for example. I just brought in a box filled with bags, and we started نوزع على كل شقة, just every single apartment. And it worked like magic,
Exactly.
And we just get, people download the apps, speak to us on chat. We love the bag. Thank you for sending it over. Blah blah blah. The feedback was amazing, and good idea, and it works.
Straight. I love it.
And then it just builds from there. So currently it is paper bag. So you think of the bag as your laundry basket. Every day while your pile is getting big, you just drop everything in the bag, and then the driver picks it up ready to go. Subscription is launching very soon.
Okay.
A lot of customers are asking for it. So that's definitely something we're working on.
And would you do it as a tier subscription? So either driver comes once a week, twice a week?
Yes.
Or is the bags the subscription part? Or does it a mixture of both things?
It's a mixture of both.
Okay.
So the way we've set it up is you choose the number of bags you want.
Okay.
Per week or per month, it's up to you. And then you choose the frequency, how many times you want the driver to come over, once or twice a week. As simple as that. You pay one fee per month and you're set for the whole month. You can always unfreeze your subscription, you're traveling, and your card is automatically charged unless you stop.
When is it launching?
Very soon.
Very soon?
Very soon.
Tell me the day it's launching and I'll be the first one who subscribes.
Tamar. Consider
Khalas.
it
You've sold me already. You've sold me already. If it's a subscription model, they don't have to have a headache and then look at the bill, blah, blah, blah. And I know, khalas, I'm done. You got me.
But the beauty is, the way it's built today is you always pay for the bag in advance, so no bill.
Yeah.
You know how much you're paying.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that we wanted to solve. No post-pay or bill, or we count how many items and we bill you. It's one fee. We tried our best to make it affordable, and it is. And you can always budget. You always know how much you're paying.
I totally get you. But for whatever reason in my head, thinking that the service is available, it's one-time fee, khalas.
Everyone loves that. Yeah.
Khalas, whatever. I'm done. And I don't have to book it on the app and blah, blah, blah. Just, I know the concierge, I can dump it there. Guy comes.
Easy.
Pick up, drop to the concierge, khalas.
Done. You'll be the first person to know.
Khalas.
My word.
Habibi, khalas. I'll be the first one to sign up. I'm done.
Let you know.
And what payment portals are you using? Are you going through Cash? Or are you going through
Everything
Benefit?
is done in the app itself.
Okay.
We've got Benefit.
Okay.
We've got credit cards, and we also have Apple Pay.
Okay.
All the payments are made in the app itself.
Okay.
We're launching a new feature very soon. It's called Doobi Wallet.
Okay.
So you can even top it up, get extra benefits.
Oh, that's
and
smart.
Pay directly from
Smart.
the app itself. Yeah.
You took that from Uber, though, I imagine.
You
can be honest. It's fine. We all take ideas from other places.
You can say Uber Kareem.
Uber Kareem. Okay.
Kareem.
Okay.
Uber owns Kareem now.
That's smart.
Kareem, yeah.
Are you gonna make like cards and then for people to buy to then give to friends and stuff like that? Like gift cards and stuff like that?
Soon. So we always take it on phases.
Sure. Sorry, I'm overloading you.
No, man, it's really nice. I can see you're excited about it.
I love your product. You've convinced me already.
Soon. Initially, we want to start with a really simple approach where you get benefits out of topping up.
Okay.
And then from there, we want to see how people actually respond to it. And then, yes, definitely, you can even buy gift cards and share it. Yes. It's part of the plan.
Do you own the facilities then, or do you rent the facilities?
Very good question. So our business model يختلف. So I'll explain it to you. Currently today, you've got facilities. So these are the laundry providers, right? They can be big, medium, small, doesn't matter. And some of these guys do have an app or a website or WhatsApp, for example, right? And it works for them. On the other side of the spectrum, you've got aggregators. What these guys do is they take all of these people who don't have the digital capability, put them on a page and aggregate it. It's called the marketplace. إحنا لا aggregator ولا facility.
Okay.
We're somewhere in the middle. So the way we work is we work with large-scale facilities, B2B facilities, who are underutilized.
Okay, yes. Okay. Like Mr. Beast approach, where he would go sell his burgers through kitchens that are underutilized and then use that as a distribution hub for furthering his business. Okay, that's very clever.
And these large-scale facilities, who are their main clients? They're mainly B2B predominantly, but they also have a B2C side of the business. So who are their clients? They serve hotels, airlines, hospitals, so really premium clients. And of course, there's more supply than demand in the market. So they are usually underutilized. And the way a lot of these laundry facilities work is they're underutilized at certain hours.
Sure.
So what we do is we work with them on a B2B model. So they just have to deal with us, right? They don't need the headache of dealing with
customers on a
with
daily
lot of
basis.
customers. They just deal with us. We work with them on whenever they are underutilized, however we classify it, كل deal غير طبعا. And we get wholesale prices from them. And what we do is we provide customers with what I'd like to call hotel level of quality at an affordable rate, because we're kind of bridging the gap. We're giving these guys business when they're underutilized, but we're also giving customers access to these larger scale facilities.
That's so smart. That's
to really
so
focus
smart.
on the bigger players.
That's so smart. I love it.
We operate an asset-free model mainly, or majorly.
I mean, you have some office space, I imagine, or computers, so you have some assets, maybe a van or whatever.
But we're trying to focus on the asset-free model currently, and we're moving more towards that side of the business. كل يوم أكثر وأكثر.
No, you don't want to own a facilities eventually?
No.
No?
As it stands today, it's not the business model we're going after. Because we're here to leverage economies of scale at the end of the day.
Sure.
I want to say that I'm going to be able to take doobi to Saudi in 2 months. You can't do that by owning and operating your own facility.
Yeah, okay.
It's not that easy.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
you need to set it up.
Yeah, you have a lot of sunk cost as well if you want to go to that path, right?
Of course.
This way,
it's capital intensive at the end of the day. It's capital intensive. In terms of it's not as quick and easy from a capital perspective, but also operationally, right? To set it up. For us, laundry is a massive industry. It's a traditional industry. It's always been there, and laundry is not going anywhere. You're always going to wear clothes. It's like the F&B industry. It's not going anywhere. We know that there is an abundance of laundry facilities, no matter the size, wherever you go.
Okay.
And if there isn't, we're going to let me just say, encourage someone to open the business, because we can give them the business, right?
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. Okay.
Wherever you go, there's going to be a laundry facility, and a lot of them are underutilized at certain periods, and that is where we're able to enter the market.
How hard was that sale to make to that laundry service? To that I can't imagine you just walking in and then being like, sure, where do I sign?
Good question. Before we launched, difficult, because I had to close the deal before we launched.
Of course.
It was a nightmare. Because again, you're going into a tradition. I keep saying it. Traditional industry, man, out of the thinking is really traditional. This is how we do business. What are you talking about? We had to go there, convince them. But once we got our brand out there, once the buzz was on the market, right? Once people knew who we were, knew the app, seen our cars everywhere, the brand equity is there, tables turned. They started approaching us for that model, right? So now they come to us and say, oh, let's work together. We've got this opportunity. We've got space for you. That's what they call it.
Okay.
For today is easy, day one difficult.
Okay. I can imagine I can't imagine how many meetings you had to set and explaining the idea and them saying, well, how many hours do you want to use? Well, we don't know yet.
Exactly. And not only that, not only saying you don't know how many hours you want to use. The difference is we don't just dump clothes on them. Because at the end of the day, we own the process. We promise our customers quality. So we literally go to our laundry partners, and alhamdulillah, they've done a really good job in understanding us and working with us on our train of thought. We have our own laundry process. It's different than the way they do business. We have our own quality checks, right, as doobi.
Okay.
So we just don't go there blindly, give them the clothes and leave.
Okay.
So it is our laundry process, it is our quality checks, right?
Okay.
And they have to kind of dedicate employees, train them as per doobi's process.
Okay.
So that takes time. But the first one it was difficult, but now it's
also difficult to convince your partner to play
do
along.
Do it your way.
Exactly.
Like, who are you?
Exactly.
Like, what is doobi? I never heard of you.
Yeah.
But today is different.
That was exactly in my head. I can't imagine how difficult that process was.
It was an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Something we could have closed in one meeting today, it took us 10 back in the day. Let's just put it that way. But we have a proven business model, and we've showed them what we're capable of, right?
Sure.
And we're usually fully booked today, which is funny for a laundry, right?
I love it.
And so that's how we kind of manage the whole business model. Logistically, same thing. We train them. We work with our guys, even from I wouldn't call it a script, but they know how to approach customers, what to say, what not to say.
So if you don't mind me asking then, from your economics of scale perspective,
Yeah.
as your brand and your business branches out and grows, right? Your next step would either have to be to make sure that your partners are investing into their own business to meet your expectation of demand.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Otherwise, you're going to have to either own the facilities or you're in trouble and you're going to have to cap your amount of users.
Correct. And that's the beauty about economies of scale.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these larger facilities, if you talk about facility size and equipment, it's there. They just need to hire more people in order to accommodate the demand, right?
Up to a point, because then you need another machine.
Up to a point.
Right? Or
Up to
more
a point.
hours in a day.
Up to a point. But to be honest, for very large scale facilities, and for doobi, for Bahrain, you only need 2 partners.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay.
But yeah, absolutely right. And then they need to keep up with the demand as well. And then that's why you have more than one. You can always have a second, you can always have a third. But at the end of the day, you're giving them good business. Your customers are happy, your partners should be happy, and you should be happy at the end of the day, right? In terms of how the business model works. So that's how we've done it there. Going back to the customer, so I talked about the whole bag concept, I think.
Let me explore a little bit more, if that's
sure,
okay.
Sure.
What about the cost of raw material, in the sense of the soap, the bleach, blah blah blah? Does that, from the supply side, as your partners handle that issue, or do you feel like at some point you want to be involved with that issue and then find so you get a cost cut?
Okay, so we're involved.
Sure.
But then again, our partner handles it, right?
Okay.
It's one of the reasons why we didn't start our own facility.
Sure.
At the beginning, right?
But because but the reason I'm asking this is because Apple doesn't own Ofcom, but they make sure that they give them the aluminium.
Correct.
Right? Because otherwise Ofcom is going to overcharge them, right? They have to make their dividends.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'll give you another example. For example, today the packaging.
Sure.
It comes from doobi.
Okay.
We source the packaging.
Yeah.
Right. So
how long did that take you, by the way?
Packaging?
Yeah. Be honest.
Surprisingly, not too long.
Really? What do you mean surprisingly not too long? What does
I expected a nightmare.
Yeah.
When it came to packaging. But to be honest, alhamdulillah, in Bahrain, we have good suppliers.
Internal suppliers or external suppliers? Internal. Wow. Because you're definitely paying premium if you're taking internal.
مو بشرط. Depending on the type of plastic that you're looking for, you'd actually pay tax on it if it's coming from outside.
Yes.
You would need to source it internally.
Yes.
Again, relationships and negotiating and giving them the volumes, giving them the business. So alhamdulillah, it's internal, and they've done a very good job.
How big was the first order for the plastic? Do you still remember?
In terms of kgs?
Yeah.
I would say a ton.
A ton? My God, you really had belief. I would be terrified ordering a ton.
We're done with it. We reordered.
I know.
We're in our second batch.
But I'm saying, like, when you just started off and then you're negotiating on plastic bags, I would be so hesitant in my stomach to go 1,000 kilos.
But then again, it's different types of plastic that we work with.
Sure.
You've got this that you see in front of you.
Sure.
You've got the finished items. You've got the pouch that we have as well. So I'm giving you the total number.
Sure.
Right?
And do you have any plans to go through recycled material eventually?
They're all biodegradable.
They're all biodegradable already.
Yes. But then again, going back to our brand, we always had the idea, okay, how do you make an impact? So if you can stop there, do you see the bag
Cotton
with the bottles?
Yeah.
Click on it. So what do we do today? We talked about leveraging economies of scale at a macro level, right?
Mm-hmm.
With our partners. We said, how do we do that at a micro level? So what we do is we tell our customers, like, since we're coming over and we're picking up your clothes, our drivers are meeting you, you can also recycle plastic through us. That's an example there. All your plastic bottles at home, put it in a bag. And you can also donate clothes through us.
Okay.
So what we do is every week, when we work with the local partners in Bahrain, we recycle all of the plastic that comes from customers, all of our plastic, and all the proceeds are actually donated.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you kept it on the balance sheet.
It's all
Extra
donated.
cash.
It's all about making an
Mashallah.
impact in Bahrain. And same with clothes. So all of the clothes that are donated by customers goes to our partners. They sort them, and then they donate them locally to orphans in Bahrain.
Mashallah. Great. You really put a lot of thought into this.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
I think the whole team did a very good job.
Honestly,
We thought of all the details.
you've gone far beyond.
Yeah, you see it there. Donate me and recycle me. That's one of
Yeah.
our partners.
And how long did that whole process take? Between the idea of going, you know what, we want to do a greater impact, to actually being able to get it done.
This is easy because, like I said, the driver is already coming to your apartment anyways. You just need
Sure.
to get the message out there.
Sure.
So you as a customer, بس نفس ما نقول حط لنا تشيسة في الثياب, we'll just pick it up.
Okay.
And partners already there. It's just one phone call. You sign an agreement with them to make it official. خلاص, easy.
Okay.
You give them the items and it's their job to take care of it.
So about a week, I assume. Because I will not believe that you just called up and been like, oh yeah, oh sure.
Called who? What's your question?
The recycling company.
The recycled company, again, they're doing it anyways.
Sure, exactly.
Right? So a
Sure.
couple of days, I would say.
Okay.
Couple of days to get the agreement out of the way.
Exactly.
But once the agreement is out of the way, operationally, you can start immediately.
Yeah, of course.
So operationally, I meant immediately.
Yeah, of course.
Straightforward.
Have you thought about doing like some sort of token system?
What do you mean?
So if they donate a certain amount of kilos of plastic or whatever else,
Yeah.
that it would give them some sort of achievement, award, something, you know, maybe like
It's a good idea.
token based, something to encourage the behavior.
I would do that if the proceeds of recycling was going into our balance sheet.
Sure. I mean, achievements doesn't cost you any money.
But
that's just an
achievements,
icon.
yes.
Right? I mean, that's a little, that's just a little work,
That's a good idea, though.
you know?
That's a very good idea.
Or maybe like an award or something like that for the person who donated the most plastic in 1 year or so, I don't know. Something like that.
Or it's a campaign that surrounds and we keep them in the loop of how many kilos are going on.
That's, yeah, there we go.
So they know what's going on.
There we
we
go.
put a target for our community, right?
I like that. I think,
idea.
yeah, I
Came
think,
from you.
I think it targeted. I think it targeted. It didn't come from me. You already had the idea in your head. I just put words to it.
It's nice.
I think, yeah. Okay, so you're no plans yet for buying bleach and soaps and all the other material necessary.
We don't have to.
Not yet. I assume it eventually you will at one point or another.
You never know. But the way the current business model works,
and your biggest cost is
it
obviously
works.
your partners, right?
of course, because you outsource it.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's your
yeah,
biggest
yeah.
cost, right? Of
Yeah.
course. How many staff do you have on board at the moment?
Doobi, we have 8.
At 8.
Yeah.
Okay. You're growing or you're keeping at 8?
Alhamdulillah, la, we're growing. Of course, as a startup, all of us wear 2 or
All the
3
hats.
Yeah. So once we feel اللي خلاص, we really need someone to actually take care of this job, that is when we move on to the next phase. But we like to all be all over the place. It's a good thing. Some would say there's no one type of job that defines, and I want to be really good at it. But I want everyone on the team to feel ownership, right? And to know everything that's going on. And wearing multiple hats gives you that. So everyone knows that whatever is going on this side of the business, that side, everybody's aware, which is the beauty of it. But it's not something that's scalable, but I'm enjoying it today. Let me put it that way. And hiring is on a need basis. We need.
We'll put it on the bottom. You can apply or on whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description.
So we definitely need to grow our team. Yeah.
And what are you looking for? Technicians, engineers, programmers,
everything.
Media, marketing?
Everyone. So
Okay.
I'd love to get CVs from all type of professions, looking at all type of job opportunities.
Sure.
We have a couple job postings that are open up on LinkedIn.
Okay.
But I always tell people just apply anyways.
Sure.
It's good for us to have your CV.
Sure,
to have you on
sure.
the list, to talk to you at least. Something opens up, you're there.
And it also gives you the phone number, that email that he can use as marketing material too.
Good idea. Our guys need to consent.
Okay.
Everyone needs to consent. So the more the better.
You're not doing any kind of data mining, anything like that, and just mass mailing emails? It's a very shotgun approach to business.
So initially, with the help of my wife, of course, we were just handling marketing. We didn't have anyone. I recently, so we have a new member on the team. She's a growth marketer. And what her job is to really look at marketing from a data perspective.
Okay.
In terms of growth. And that is literally what she's doing today. So, mashallah alayha, every day she comes up with a new idea. What if we target this customers with this type of message and do the opposite there for this persona? So,
A/B testing and segmentations.
she loves that.
Okay.
And she's doing a good job.
Okay.
She's doing a good job with that. So, data is key. Data is very important. I don't believe in mass, just for the sake of mass. Data works much better.
Especially when it's utilized correctly. Absolutely.
But again, a lot of A/B testing until you really get it right. So you need to have that patience. To go through a couple of months of testing, not expecting premium results or the optimum results. Sorry, you need to have that patience, and you're gonna find it.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I like I said, I mean, you can buy very cheaply data mined emails through LinkedIn and stuff like that. I mean, you can buy like 1,000 for like 10 BD or something like that. And you're smiling already because you thought about this too. and just do like an introductory email maybe with some photos or a video.
My degree's in marketing.
Exactly. I saw you smiling already, and I was like, he thought about that already.
There are a lot of tactics.
Have you messaged any influencers?
Of course, I mean, community influencers are important.
Yeah.
That brings up another thing. So when we started the business, of course, we had a target segment in mind, right? We said, okay, the expats, the locals, the busy professionals, this type of age group initially are going to be focused on people who live in apartments, people who don't have the time, okay. Which is still true till today. But the beauty about doobi is, or the way we kind of work is, a huge chunk of our user base are people who have never done laundry outside of the house.
Oh, really?
Who never felt comfortable in doing laundry barra al-bayt.
Oh, wow. MashaAllah.
This amazes me.
Absolutely.
Because this means that you've gained the trust. People feel confident in giving, because again, you're in a market that's very personal, right? It's clothes. But people feel confident in giving you their clothes, and they trust in your ability to provide them with the highest level of quality. That's one huge segment that I was proud of. A lot of people that weren't comfortable. So what you're doing here is now you're changing the behavior, which is amazing. Once you're able to do that, change people's behavior, you're onto something. We're not there yet. We have a very long road. But means we're onto something, right? And another segment are moms in Bahrain. Because again, usually moms have their own system of doing laundry, but they represent a huge user base, a huge size of our user base today, which was really surprising for me.
I can imagine that, yeah.
If you asked me on day one, I said they'd probably not come to us.
Single guys probably, or something like that.
Or newlyweds.
Or
Expats, or people who are in Bahrain who, for a short period of time.
Sardine or whatever.
I would have assumed these would be your early adopters, right? And khalas. And the moms maybe, because again, you're a tech app, no call center, no face-to-face interactions. But لا. These are nice, surprising facts. I got a call the other day, out of the blue, an old friend of mine. قال لي, يا أخي, you saved us. I said, okay, I mean, we're London.
Okay.
How did we save you?
I like how your head went straight to the laundromat and not what is he talking about?
So how did we save you? We're talking about
Okay,
doobi,
we're talking
right?
about that. Okay.
So I said, okay, how did we save you? It's like, I was supposed to bring a house cleaner maid, and for whatever reason it didn't happen, it didn't work out. And I'm with my wife, we've got a kid. He said, so I had to start for something, and I started using doobi because I know you. He says, I'm using it till today, and I have not applied for a maid since.
Hey, mashallah.
That was surprising.
Mashallah.
That was really nice. He says, you saved me. And when he says you saved me, what he meant was, you saved me the
headache
cost and the headache. Because I can just use you guys now. I have less of a need to actually employ someone.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, what's your acquisition at the moment, per month or per week?
Well, currently we're steady. We average around 500 a month.
500 new customers a month?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay.
Which is good.
No, that's very good. For Bahrain, I'm saying Jesus as a really good word, not negatively.
It's a good
Absolutely.
Number. It's a good number.
The total population is like 1.6 million. At 500 per month,
leverage,
you're really acquiring. And how many of that turns into customers?
Into transacting users?
Yeah.
The information is not public yet, but it's a good number. A good number. We have a lot of new users, but we have a lot of recurring users.
Okay.
The way I like to put it, quote in one of the movies, and it stuck with me. It says, if they transact twice, they're hooked for life.
Sure.
And that's where we're trying to go. And to a certain degree, it's true for doobi. We've got a lot of people who tried it, it's not for them. Fair enough.
Sure.
Everyone has their own circumstances, their own lifestyle. But when you come back for a second time, it means you may have a need for it, you like the service, and more often than not, whoever transacts twice, they're hooked. They always come back.
And what do you think is the stopping key factor with an account subscriber and a paid user? What do you think is the key aspect? What's the bottleneck? How do you think you can convert more people?
So going back to our whole concept.
Yeah.
It's different. Nobody has done laundry this way.
Okay. Okay.
So there's a lot of education in the beginning. We get a lot of questions. So how big is the bag? Even though it's in the application, it's on the website.
Okay.
How big is the bag? How much can it fit? How many kilos? What happens here? What happens there? Because it's really different. Today you're used to going to the laundry and actually giving them the item, right? Here we're telling you fill up the bag. So if you're a new user, you haven't seen our bags yet, you've got a lot of questions. So once we get through that, and once the customers kind of, because it's a new concept, no matter how much we do marketing and explain, it's still going to remain a new concept. Once you get through that and they understand how it works and they go through the first order, because we incentivize them and give them discounts on the first order.
Sure.
Because they get it, they love it.
Sure.
Right? But it's getting through that initial education, I'd like to call it, right? So I'm educating them on how we work.
Do you think ever you would be able to reach a space where the numbers make sense, that for the first laundry service, you could offer it either to such a discount that is nearly free or at free? Do you think ever you'll be able to do that?
You're a business at the end of the day. You're not here to...
No, for acquiring the first customer.
For acquiring the first customer.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Because if you can make the numbers work, if you scale large enough,
yes,
eventually for every new acquisition you can offer... You can
definitely get there.
You can definitely get there. It's scale, absolutely.
It's scale.
And I think that if you can get either the first or second, or how, I don't know how you'd manage it, but if you can get that locked in, the first maybe at free, second maybe at 50%, I don't know, then you have them by the third, and I think then you're locked in.
Yes, I agree. You can get to that level, definitely. And it also depends on the market that you're in. With Bahrain, currently I don't see the need for it. But as for example, if we get into Saudi, you've got to do that. Because how much resources do you require to educate the customers there? Right? It's mashallah, it's a massive market.
26 million, something like that.
What you've just mentioned would work perfectly for such a massive market. You want to get the word out there, and that's the best way to do it.
Do you feel like Saudi, Riyadh, Dammam would be your better bet, or do you think Dubai would be your better bet?
Saudi.
You think so?
Initially.
Because
usually people leave Saudi for last.
Okay.
Usually startups, they try to conquer the Middle East and then go for the mammoth. Like for the bigger one, leave it to the end.
Sure.
It's like you're playing a video game. You get to the boss at the end, right?
Sure.
We want to start with Saudi.
Okay.
Because that is the market that we are catering for.
Sure.
That's the market where it makes sense for us. بإذن الله بنبتدي بسعودية, and then from there we can go.
My not concern, but my thinking only why Dubai seems to make more sense in the beginning, only because of the large amount of expats and Westerners.
Correct.
And that there's less education involved, there's less training involved. You're closer to Dubai than you are to Riyadh, if you started Riyadh and not Dammam or Khobar or whatever.
Yeah.
So from logistics perspective and transaction, that would make more sense. But Riyadh is rising at the moment, and it is massively opening up, and it might make more sense to invest your resources there.
Especially in focusing on large scale underutilized facilities.
Sure.
Saudi makes sense.
You don't think that Dubai has a lot of like hotels who has a lot of like laundry services that are underutilized?
Dubai, mashallah, they're doing very well.
Sure.
And we can enter Dubai. We can go really fast in Dubai. But at the end of the day, so similar services do exist in Dubai, and we will eventually be there.
You don't want to be too competitive already.
It's not about too competitive. Again,
Okay.
you want to change the behavior. That's the best part about what we do. And Saudi, you can literally change the behavior based on how
it worked so far in Bahrain.
Alhamdulillah, Bahrain is like an incubator, right? You've got all segments, all type of people, and Alhamdulillah, the feedback that we're getting is, we'll always make mistakes. There are a few hiccups here and there, but in general, the feedback that we have is insane. It's amazing.
No, I totally agree.
I'm sorry to stop
No,
you
go
there.
for it.
And the reason why customers come back is, this is my opinion, is not because of our logistics. It plays a part. It's not because of the pricing. It plays a part. Not the app. Not even the quality. They all play a part. But the reason why customers really love to come back is because of our CX team. We've invested so much in training our team, building it from the ground up. The way we approach customers is close to unheard of when it comes to the laundry market. And that's what I was looking for initially in day one, right? Because I'm a millennial. I know Illa. I know all of these amazing applications with really good customer experience. But when I went to laundry, it was like a commodity, right? These are the price, take it or leave it. And that's what I wanted to change. And with the way we approach customers today is different.
Okay.
I would say it's different.
And what's the average transaction per customer? Can you mention about what the normal amount is?
Not public yet.
Okay.
Not public yet.
I mean, if I order one, I would know immediately. خلاص, I'm not going to dig into it.
إن شاء الله حين يعني will be we've started the process on raising a funding round. So that's why I would like to keep this in.
Oh, sure. I mean, again, we can cut out and we can keep in whatever you like.
We can talk offline. Yeah.
I mean, again, it doesn't matter. I'm just interested from the sake of interest, just because I find your business interesting. And how do you think the subscription model will work? Do you think it'll be cheaper for the customer than to order typically? Because at that way you have a lock-in. Or do you think you have to somehow manage that expectation more?
With any subscription, you need to provide your customers, I think, with two separate values.
Sure.
Number one is definitely pricing.
Yeah.
You need to give them a lower rate, telling them that you're an exclusive user and you get a special price.
Yeah.
But you also need to give them something extra, other than just that. It can be convenience, it can be perks.
Sure.
It can be anything else. So for us, we do two things. There is the whole pricing factor. Of course, it's more affordable for you if you subscribe for a whole month. But you also get additional perks. You get discounts on regular orders if you need it.
Maybe 1-day delivery for subscribers. And 2-day delivery for normal.
It's a good idea.
Just to throw it out there.
Someone in our team mentioned the exact same thing. But I'd love to get to a stage where it's 1 day for everyone.
Sure.
I'd love to get there.
Sure.
But very good idea.
I mean, Amazon Prime started with 1 day only for Amazon Prime users, and now it's 1 day for all users, right?
Very true.
And ideally, you want to be in the gym business where you have people subscribe to a service that aren't using the service. That's the dream. You know? You look completely worried.
You reminded me of the gym. Yeah.
That's the dream.
If you get to that level where people just feel comfortable because they've subscribed to Doobi, you're on a different level.
Absolutely.
It's possible.
Absolutely.
It's possible.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm wondering from what marketing tactics would really work with this kind of an enterprise. Does it make sense to have representatives go to like family homes and talk about it, like back in the day, knocking on door services? That's what my German grandfather used to do. He used to take vacuum cleaners after the war and would knock on doors and sell vacuum cleaners door to door. So
you're not Dyson's grandson, are you?
No.
We did something similar. We called it a roadshow. So we thought about, okay, we need some physical presence, right? Because at the end of the day, yes, we're an app, but we have physical interaction. So we need to be physically present somewhere. People need to see us, but we know that we're never going to open a shop. فقلنا, okay, who is our target market? What makes sense? فقلنا, okay, let's try something. We ran two things in parallel.
Sure.
We had a stand, a really nice built stand, marketing and everything with the bags fully heavy, and we had our team there. One in an apartment building and another one outside Al-Usra. Mornings. So that's when families go into Usra and come out. And they would see us. And they would ask us, what are you guys? And we saw your branding, but what are you? Once you explain to them again, you go back to the whole concept. When you tell them, forget about laundry, you see the spark in their eyes, right? Everybody wants to get rid of laundry.
Sure, absolutely.
Nobody has that positive
Connection
reinforcement or positive connection to laundry,
Yeah.
right?
No one's like, oh, thank God.
Thank God for laundry. When you tell them, you get rid of laundry, this is how you're going to do it. These are the prices. This is what we do, blah, blah, blah. And they loved it. It worked really well in Al Isra, just being there physically present.
What's your marketing budget roughly? Can you say? Not sure? No?
No, I know it. I mean, I know our CAC on a daily basis.
Sure. Because I was just wondering, why don't you talk to some of the local universities here in Bahrain, see if they will let you, I'm sure they would, if with a little cash, no one should say no, take a car parking space, offer free coffee or something like that as a sale pitch. Everyone who signed up, either through the email or phone number, through Doobi, because you have all that incredible university space, right, who all have parents who you can so easily reach, and it costs you from setup cost only a little coffee, which is nothing.
Which is nothing.
Right? And there's so many, like one of these like delivery van drivers, you know, where they do the coffee thing. How much does it cost to rent one of those out? I mean, it can't be a lot, right? And then you just put your logo on top of it. And then you can even say the coffee's for free and say, hey, you know what? We wanted to give back something to the students. We just started up this coffee thing.
Adi. Doable.
Very doable.
And really affordable. Doesn't matter your marketing budget. Anyone can do it.
I think
and
even...
it's a brilliant idea.
I think it's like 200 BD. Yeah. And you do it for 1-2 days and that's it.
Easy. That's one tactic.
Yeah.
Another thing that we're thinking about is referrals. So refer a friend, you get something, they get something. And just keeps on going.
That's how Dropbox got big.
They got huge.
Exactly because of referrals. That's how that empire was built.
It's always that you need to incentivize the person who's getting referred, but also the person who is doing the referring at the end of the day. And تعطيل incentive. So at the end of the day, what happens is they become your brand advocates, which I think is a beautiful concept.
No, it's good.
As long as they get something out of it, right? That's one of the tactics.
No, I agree. I mean, I you know, there's what's so beautiful about your business is because you're so connected with the consumer. There's so many things you could do, right? For like Ramadan or Eid or 4th of July for your American customers, you can give them like a 4th of July shirt. Shirts are like dime a dozen. They're nothing.
Man, any business can do these simple things.
It's
true. Not just us.
True.
One small thing that we did literally applies to any business. Place an order, 1 BD goes to Iftar Sa'im in Ramadan. Worked perfectly. People loved it. And it was really simple. Like, because a lot of companies donate, right? They donate themselves as a company. Say, okay, Bidal, okay, we're going to donate. But why don't we have the people push us to donate?
Or
place an order, we'll donate. Every time you place an order, we donate.
Or even for Bahrain National Day, you can put like the small flags that they put in the car. I mean, how much do they cost? They must just plastic, right? And little paper.
Simple things. I'll tell you one thing that we did that flew.
Yeah.
Simple. As part of, so when you're on the app and you're ordering, it takes you to a special request page.
Sure.
And we've partnered with Junaid in Bahrain. So we created special scents for your clothes that you can pick.
That's smart.
So you can have it ريحة البخور, oud, musk, floral. So we're trying new things out all the time.
That's smart.
And this worked like magic. Whenever we change it or مثلا the smell isn't as strong as it should be, people call us up, we want more of that scent. And this got people coming back more and more because again, now you are interfering with their senses. They don't just see doobi now; they smell doobi.
Can I offer a suggestion though?
Yeah.
Why don't you get the MacBook smell?
MacBook smell. You
know that smell when you open a new Apple product? There's a specific perfume they use.
Is there? I didn't know.
There is, yeah. Okay. Apple's ahead of us by light years. They've perfected the there's a whole team. I think there's like 40 or 60 people in Apple who just work on the box itself, the opening, because it should
that feeling.
Just that tension as you open it.
Even now with the paper, they stopped using plastic, no?
Yeah, they stopped using plastic.
The way they've constructed this whole paper packaging, It's satisfying.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. They have a team of like over 40 people who are just to get that right amount of pressure so it doesn't pop out, and it's meant to build like anticipation without being annoying.
Yes.
And the same thing is with the perfume.
Yes.
That's why they have that max smell.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
try it out. See if it works on close. See what people think.
But again, you see now, these two scents that Junaid, they've manufactured or they've built for us, it's specific to us. So people know these scents. They associate this with doobi. So if anyone goes out and their clothes smell of that, they know it's doobi. If you're another doobi customer.
You know, you remind me of a guy, I forgot his name, Bloomberg Masters of Business, and he talks about this exact concept that you're talking about, and that was that businesses, it's not that businesses don't have good ideas, it's that often they're spread too thin. There's too many branches on the tree.
Yeah.
Right? And it's so hard to just focus your energy and dedication on one particular thing.
You can't.
I forgot who the writer was. Can you look it up, Dan? To Kill Your Darlings. You never heard of it? Yeah. To Kill Your Darlings. It's a meaning in literature. Can you look up book or quote? Quote, yeah. Kill your darlings, even when it breaks your eggless, serve it hard. Kill your darlings. It basically insinuates and means that your ideas that you really love often just speaks to you and doesn't speak to everyone else.
Very true.
Right?
Very true.
And so that's the phrase that they use for writers when they're submitting books and ideas and plots.
It makes sense to them, but not necessarily to anyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the hard truth, man.
Yeah.
That's the tough one.
So it's the same thing also with a business. A lot of aspects you would love to do, whether it be achievements or anything else. I mean, you're already doing plastic pickup, which doesn't take a lot of extra service, right? But
straightforward.
It's very straightforward. Yeah. But that's something else you have to keep track on. You're already doing perfume and doha and that, offering that as a service. Then you're still offering your business services, right? Pickup and delivery and managing all that. So you're and then you have also your Instagram services, and then you have your financial records.
Look, it's not easy. But again, if you look at my job personally, Emad, my role is to really focus on building a team that can execute on this.
Okay.
There's a lot on my plate, but it's not really on my plate.
Sure.
Make sense?
Sure.
Okay, this is the way I approach the team always. I tell them, of course, I'm with them in building a strategy. We always have to build it and everything. But what I say is, my job isn't, for example, if it comes to marketing, my job isn't getting the numbers. That is not my job. That is your job. My job is ensuring you get the numbers.
Sure.
And that's my approach with every single aspect of the business, every single department. I don't get into it, but I just want to make sure the people, my team, can get it done, right? And that's straightforward. It's not simple, but it's really achievable. But if you focus on that, your company works better, it runs on itself.
Habibi, I have a lot of people who sit where you're sitting, and some of the interesting things I hear all the time is, I don't know if it's ego or mistrust, or I don't know what it is, but a lot of them aren't able to delegate. And they'll never be able to grow because a company is only as good as its people, right? And if you can't get out of your own head and you can't give up and say, listen, I can trust X, Flan, or Ahmed, or whoever to take that part.
Have to.
You forget about it. Forget about it.
It also goes back to the culture, right? I have a quote that I think I came up with.
Let's
Probably
hear it.
read it somewhere when I was younger, but let's see. I always tell the team, and one of the team members put it up, which is really nice. I always tell them, think big, make mistakes.
Okay.
What does that tell you? So we have a culture where you can try new things. You're allowed to make mistakes. We actually encourage you to make mistakes. Don't make the same mistake twice though, but always make mistakes, which means we have trust. And when I tell a person to make a mistake, it means I care more about them trying new things, learning, achieving something than actually achieving the number. This is the message I'm giving them when I tell them make a mistake. So they feel empowered, right? They're not too worried about the result, but they just want to make sure they come up with something new and they learn something new. So if you have that culture, in addition to ensuring that you're delegating, I'm not perfect, far from it. I make mistakes every day when it comes to delegation. But if you have that culture, really it runs on itself. You can take a step back and the problems will fix itself to a certain degree, which is nice to see, right? I'm in WhatsApp, I'm in all of the WhatsApp groups of the company, but I don't necessarily say anything. I don't have to.
Yeah.
It runs on itself.
You don't necessarily have to put your hand in the
Exactly. And
mix.
I've been lucky with the co-founders that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been also very lucky with the team that we have, right?
That must have been very difficult. It's hard finding good staff in Bahrain. Hard finding good staff anywhere in the world.
Anywhere. It's not specific to Bahrain. But then again, it's even harder to find good co-founders.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's even more difficult.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, I've been lucky. I've got a guy, the first co-founder, who he will run and he'll fix. You can throw anything at him. That's ما يهز ريح. Any problem, he's able to manage. He's that kind of guy, right? He can just run and nothing will stop. He has that can-do attitude, which is amazing.
Fantastic.
I've got the other co-founder who has this really strategic mindset, who really thinks of things that I don't. Kind of complete each other, that kind of sense, right? I know my weaknesses, and I told them, listen, I know you've heard about the company we started, this is what we're working on, but these are my weaknesses and I need you to fill in that gap. And that's why it works really well. And I also have, as I mentioned, my wife that helps me out with everything, right? I've been lucky, and the team that we have are amazing, but it's not easy, right? I've never been so stressed out these past, let's say, 1 year, and I've been in my life.
Hey, you've managed to hold it well, though. You've managed to stay healthy. Good for you.
No, not really. I stopped going to the gym, but I need to go back.
Yeah.
But again, I've never been so stressed out, honestly. But alhamdulillah, what I can say is, with pride, is, and I love it. I'm stressed, but I love it, if that makes sense.
You work 100 hours a week, so you don't have to work 40.
That's the idea. It's a really weird feeling to be stressed out and to be enjoying it at the same time.
Steve Jobs used to say, running a business is like eating glass and enjoying it.
Yes, I heard that quote. Yeah. You need to have that in you, right, from day one. And it's been crazy.
Looking back on it now, anything you would have done sooner, anything you would have done differently? Anything you would have pushed harder?
I would have started this a couple of years ago.
But you weren't mature enough at that point, I think. You have to be a level of mature.
I don't think age matters, man. I mean, look at all of these successful entrepreneurs. Some of them are 21, some of them are 22. Alhamdulillah, my experience has put me in the position that I am today.
Sure.
It got me to where I am today. Alhamdulillah. But yeah.
But I don't mean mature in the sense of age. I think you can be 35 and still act like a kid. You can be 15.
I think all of us have that in us, though.
Yeah, especially men. Especially men.
And I don't mind saying it.
Yeah.
Adi.
This is definitely true. Women mature much, much faster than guys.
I can have a whole day of being, CEO in office and working on meetings, meeting with partners, but then I can go home with my shorts playing PS4, my legs chilly, Adi. So you can have both of that and it's fine.
No, there's definitely truth to that. No.
Definitely. So yeah.
Are you happy?
Alhamdulillah.
Seriously?
Alhamdulillah.
Good.
Happy, content, worried, stressed.
It's good. Alive.
But they all come together, right? So yeah.
So why start it in Bahrain? Why not in DC? Why not in New York?
So you're talking about my college days, huh?
Yeah, because you could have very easily started this business anywhere in the world.
But then again, you see, the way I started college is not the way anyone.
Sure.
It's not normal.
Let's hear.
Okay, let's
see if my story beats your story.
Okay, yeah, I'd like that. I'll take you back to the high school days, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say that I wasn't your typical A student.
Okay.
I've been to a lot of schools in Bahrain.
Mm-hmm.
I've been homeschooled as well. I caused my mom a lot of headache, let's just put it that way. And it got to a level where no hope for this kid. I was straight A when I was up till 12 years old, but then puberty hit and then everything changed. Yeah.
خلي والدي, what do I need school for?
Man, I once walked into an exam and tore the paper and slept. وليش ليه اليوم ما أعرف. I do not have an explanation for that. But anyways,
I put a bin on fire once and threw it out of a window. Nice. I know. Not on purpose. I had a cigarette in classroom because I didn't care.
You tried to get it out.
And I threw it in the bin and it turned on fire. And then I just threw the whole bin.
What else are you going to do?
Exactly, right?
Well, you had to react. Good thinking. So, طبعا I hit 18. All my friends were off to college and I was raised by a single parent. I didn't make it easy on her, right? If I told her I want to go, بروح London or بروح wherever.
My friends are there, yeah.
LA. And a friend of mine went to Miami. I remember I told my mom Miami and her eyes just opened up. Yeah. She says, okay, look, I'll make a deal with you.
Okay.
I said, okay. She says, you can go to America. You can go to college. Done. You have my word. But you need to do 1 year in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can start. It's like, oof. I agreed.
Did you get to choose which military?
No.
No.
Because I had a relative that went to a specific military and he didn't have, it was difficult and he came out a changed person, so that was recommended. I agreed. رحت العسكرية, رحت أمريكا. Got on the plane, landed, went straight to the military. My first day there, first question I asked myself, what the hell am I doing here? Literally your first 30 minutes, change your clothes, you get shouted at for no reason, they shave your head off, shave your beard, shave your mustache, stand in line, and they insult you. But they do that on purpose, they just want to see your breaking point, right? And we went into something called the plebe system, بالعربي نسميه الحكرة. This is for 6 weeks. And what I can say now is I was supposed to spend a year in the military. I graduated. I spent 2 years.
Okay.
I went through the whole thing. B,
by choice or by force?
I loved every minute of it.
Okay.
Initially, it was by force. Huh?
Okay.
My first 3 weeks, I tried to run away as much as I could. Tried to escape, run through the gates, do anything else. I even sent my mother an email.
Yeah.
Please help me. I want to leave.
Yeah.
I had to, because you don't have access to a phone or a laptop or anything. So I had to sneak into the library.
Yeah. Find
a working computer without anyone seeing me. Because if they see me, I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, get on
back in the hole.
Exactly. Get on a
Told
computer.
you, I know your experience.
Love to hear that. Get on the computer and please help. I want to come home. Never replied. She never replied. But then I found out a couple of years later, I told my sister, you know about the story? And she said she never replied. She was crying that day. Don't worry. Anyways, I tried to run away the first 3 weeks. I started settling down. And the biggest thing about the military is discipline and learning to follow, which was very difficult for me, right? Instead of 1 year, I spent 2 years. I graduated top 3 in the class academically.
MashaAllah.
I'm telling you, I was far from a straight A student in Bahrain. So when I graduated, I was top 3 academically. From a military perspective, I was an XO, so first lieutenant, and one of the higher ranking officers there. So I still remember my mother's face when I graduated from the military. Whenever they would stand up for, say, an award, people stand up, I would stand. I stood up for most of the awards, and she was surprised. It's like, really? Is this true? So these 2 years changed my life. If you ask me where I would have been today لو ما رحت العسكرية, I do not have an answer.
Right? So now with your wife, now married, alhamdulillah, inshallah you have kids. Would you want to send your kids now to military as well?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Oh man, definitely.
So you're sold?
Easy.
You're sold and
sold. Choice I have to make.
Okay.
Best 2 years of my life. It wasn't easy.
Okay.
It was tough. Tough on many levels, psychologically, physically. But you were in a different bubble, right?
Sure.
It was a completely different bubble where the outside reality did not make sense. You were in the military for 2 years.
Looking back on it, do you regret not being deployed at some point?
While I was there, I was really motivated. كنت بدش الجيش خاص بالبحرين. That's what I wanted to do. I loved it so much.
Or mercenary work, black rocks and stuff like that. You can apply.
Anything's possible, man.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. I decided to, because there you do 2 years, you still get a degree.
Blackwater, sorry, that's the company. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, BlackRock is the
financial institute.
Capital. Yeah. You do 2 years there, the credits still count, right? So قلت خليني أخلص دراستي, I get my bachelor's degree, and then we'll see where life takes me. So that's how I ended up from the military to DC for 2 years. So while everyone was enjoying, going out, traveling, I was
in military
there for 2 years. And you had to literally apply to go on leave on the weekend, right? And when you go out, there's a curfew. You have to be back by 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So now, over to you. I want to hear your story.
No. For me, I went, I think from the age of 10, just boarding school to boarding school to boarding school. They tried to put me in a military school. I just got kicked out because I know what I have to do to get out if I want to get out. So
I didn't.
Exactly. Eventually, all my friends just got graduated, and I didn't. And so I had to find a school who was willing to do my A-levels because I didn't even do my GCSEs. I didn't give a shit. And I didn't give a shit about anything. I just always knew internally that I'd run a business. You know, I can do things. Yeah. And I did all really odd jobs since I was like 14, 13. I worked at as a computer repair. So I'd skip school and try to find like some things just to get me cash to then go and buy cigarettes or booze or whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
So
a lot of entrepreneurs start early. Huh?
Yeah. So I worked for then I did some welding stuff and stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It like any kind of jobs I could find. I worked as like a security guard at the age of like 16 at like a bar in the middle of the night.
You're a kid? You're a tough kid?
Well, Habibi, I broke every single one of my fingers as I was growing up. And the worst thing was working. We
would have gotten along, I think.
I think so. Oh, we're getting along right now, aren't we? And I mean, I remember the worst thing about working security in the bar, it was like a rockers bar and bikers and dudes like that. The guys weren't too bad. This was in Birmingham. The guys weren't too bad. You tell them, hey, listen, mate, you're fucking drunk. You can't come in here. You know, But, you know, they hardly ever swing at you. And usually they're so drunk, you can just like move out the way and just push them. Easily handled. Easy. Women, however, were the worst.
Interesting.
Because if you won't let a girl in, it's just, especially if she's already drunk or she's on some substance or something else, she goes crazy. I've been hit with heels, God knows how many times I can count, because they would just like take it off and then try to hit you with it. And then you can't exactly fight back, so you have to just...
What are you going to do?
Exactly. So you can just basically hold their hands and then either call the police or the security to come and deal with it. And that's all you can do. With a guy, you can call them, come here, we'll take you to the back room and we can throw you down some stairs and stuff like that. So it was a very different world. With guys, it's very, you can handle it. You can handle it very easily with guys. With girls, it's a nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, and then the way I found into university, so I did my A-levels, I barely passed them, and I was talking to my business teacher, and again, I didn't give a shit. I thought to myself, you know what? I might go to university. What the fuck? Why not? And my business teacher was like, yeah, you're going to have difficulties, blah, blah, blah. And I thought to myself, well, I'll just lie. I mean, who's going to check over those papers? And if they ask for the papers, I'll just say it went missing in the mail. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And that's exactly what I did. And I think I basically got like 1 A and the rest were C's. And then the phone calls to the universities, I was like, yeah, I got like an A and just B's and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. This was in the UK. So normally you have to submit through the terminal to go through universities. However, because I was an international student, I didn't have to do it through that way. I could actually call up universities and say, do you have placement for an international student?
Interesting.
And I could just say, this is my grade, blah, 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 A, B, B, B. And that's how it happened.
You have to show them the transcript.
No, you don't have to. Oh. You don't have to. Not with everyone. Because don't forget, in the UK, it's £8,000 for a UK citizen and £16,000 for an international. So they really want to get
Yes.
that 16K.
Very true.
So they're very willing to close eyes. In fact, one university even discovered that I lied, I think, and they messaged me saying, "Oh, you know, a normal requirement for this class is like 1A, 2 A's and a B." But he said, "We were just luckily, we have space for you, right?" Exactly. So
Happen to have space.
we just happen to have space, and so I thought to myself, "Well, I've got options. So what do I want to do?" So I went around London universities, and I thought to myself, "What I give a shit about isn't the course, isn't the degree. I give a shit about is how hot the girls are." And so I just went to universities.
I can't say the same for military school.
And that's all I did. And that's how I ended up with Westminster. I just remember walking in and seeing loads of Russian girls. And I thought to myself,
This is it. Huh?
This is it.
I made it.
I made it. And
Interesting.
I applied immediately to that school.
Interesting. I can relate. Because, yeah, man, grade 12, no school would take me. I had to be homeschooled. I can definitely.
Yeah.
I was there.
No regrets, right?
Huh?
No regrets, right?
Not at all, man. It's made me who I am today. صراحة. And so my mother likes to recall the past. Because she can talk about it now because alhamdulillah she's happy with, or I think she's happy with who I am
absolutely.
today.
Come
I
on.
hope she's happy with who I am today. She talks about it a lot, right? And when people hear it, anyone, they don't believe it. Looking at me, they just do not believe it. But they tell me, "Do you have any regrets?" I say, "Not at all. Relax. Anything you hear, I'm proud of. Anything." It literally made me who I am today.
I'm with you.
No regrets.
I'm with you. Now, do you have a brother or sister? Just one sister.
I have a sister.
And she also an entrepreneur?
No, she's not. So I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Interesting that you asked that because imagine.
Because I would imagine you're the black sheep of the family.
Yes. Okay, now imagine, I just told you, so my mom, alhamdulillah, my mother was really happy with who I am today, and he just got married, he has a good job. You know, he went from that, he got here, but then he came to me and said he's quitting his job. It wasn't an easy conversation to have with the family. To tell them, yes, I realize that I just got married. I realize all of these things. I realize financially, blah, blah, blah. But this is what I want to do. It wasn't an easy conversation at first. بس الحمد لله يعني الوالدة وأختي وزوجتي they all push me till today.
That's good. Alhamdulillah.
That's
support.
important. Yeah. If they have your back, I mean, you feel more confident.
There's wind behind your sail.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
It was an easy conversation, but it worked out. Alhamdulillah. I'm the only entrepreneur
in the family
currently.
Till you have kids, inshallah.
Yeah. Inshallah. Until they go to military and then decide.
Yeah? We'll see. Whether or not they'll get kicked out of the military or they'll put themselves through it.
If they're anything like me, they may get kicked out. Yeah. So that's the history, and that got me to where I am today. No regrets whatsoever.
Can you say, on camera, it doesn't matter, have you broken even yet? Or you're still in the process too?
Man, we just started.
Okay.
So we've officially launched, how long has it been? 7 months now.
Sure.
Officially.
Sure.
In the market. So it's going to take some time. Of course, we're a startup, and we're transitioning into a scale-up.
Okay.
And with that in mind, you want to be cash flow positive at every region or every country that you're in at a certain date.
Of course.
So we're trying very hard to be cash flow positive Bahrain, and then start in Saudi. Of course, you're not going to be cash flow positive there.
Okay.
But our ambition is to be cash flow positive in every country that we're in within a year.
Okay.
Cash flow.
Okay. So to be profitable, as you basically just have to meet what economics of scale, just a certain amount of customer base, right?
Yes.
And that's just to pay off because in theory the only cost you have, because I don't know how you arrange your contract with your partner for the washing, it's just staff, right? Staff and maybe rent and maybe car, I guess.
So it's a lot of these things. Marketing, tech is a huge cost.
Really? Okay. Just the upkeep, you mean?
Upkeep, team.
Okay.
A lot of R&D.
Okay.
So my background is in product.
Okay.
And I'm putting a lot of emphasis, including budgeting, towards R&D.
Okay.
right? So we're going to be spending a lot on trying out new things,
Okay.
trying better ways to optimize, trying better ways to provide new
Okay.
products to customers. That's a cost.
Okay.
And of course, remember the tactic that you mentioned, offer a service for free. وكذا. If you want to scale fast,
That's scale.
you want to achieve that economies of scale, you need to burn cash. But I've read this really interesting article recently that says stop thinking like a unicorn, think more like a camel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it was a Harvard Business Review, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. And that's how we're acting today. That's who we are today, right? We're not trying to burn cash unnecessarily. We are focused on growth. We know how to spend to grow, but we're really conscious on where our margins are,
Because
what our unit economics are.
because growth isn't so much important to you as acquisition of customer, right?
Exactly.
Right. I mean, if it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 new accounts every day if they're not transitioning into paid transaction customer, right?
Exactly.
Okay. There. I'll share with you. There's a really good podcast, way better than mine. They're not based in Bahrain. They're based in the U.S. It's called. I forgot the name, but I'll share it with you. And they have various techniques for SSAR businesses, and growth and acquisition and transferring that growth into paid acquisition.
Paid
customers.
Yes.
So I'll share it with you. It has some really
Thank
great
you, man. I
resources,
appreciate that.
and it has some really great knowledge, and it's backed up by some really great people. I'm not associated to it, but yeah, just check it out.
Good. You know, I think you're absolutely right. Every startup has its own way of defining its balance, right?
Sure.
And we know the risky, bumpy road that a lot of startups have gone into when it comes to scaling too fast, growing too fast, and never being profitable, growing and then downsizing. And we are conscious of that from day one.
I mean, growth isn't too much. I mean, you don't have to care too much about profits as long as you work in an industry that is willing to support that. Amazon didn't make a profit for 20 years, right?
Exactly.
But the Wall Street was willing to support it.
You need to have a strategy in place that will get you from A to B to C.
Sure.
And for some companies, it's profit. For some companies, it's raising rounds. For some companies, it's growth. But at a gross level, you need to be profitable.
Okay. And you don't think it makes sense doing an IPO this soon, right?
Too early.
Too early, yeah.
Too early. We're still at. I would consider it. We're still at the pre-seed stage.
Okay.
We're still a young company.
I mean, you're beyond concept now because it seems to be working perfectly.
We're past concept.
Right?
We're past concept. We think we have a very good inclination of product market fit. People love our service. People are coming back, as we have that covered. Now we're at a stage where we need to make sure that our business model is ready to scale.
Okay.
Right?
Absolutely.
I'm not saying it isn't, but you need to focus on that.
If you can work all this out, hypothetically, and I hope it for you, and I hope you can get into all the Middle Eastern markets that you want to get and internationally and yada yada. I think that as soon as you've got that locked in, your next step, your daughter company should be using the skills necessary that you have acquired with your partners for the laundry service, marketing then B2B customers like hotels, bars, restaurants, all this kind of stuff, supplying them the uniform at a loss leader, but hooking them
At laundry.
at the laundry. Right? And then you do that as a contract basis. You say, hey, listen, you don't ever have to worry about a piece of item being broken. You don't ever have to worry about missing a piece of item. You don't even have to worry that you run out of stock. We'll handle that. You just dump it at our van, comes to your labor force, clean. It's one contract, you're done.
We'll procure it, we'll service it. It's like buying a car.
Exactly.
You buy the car and you service it there as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That should be definitely your stage 2, if you don't mind me saying, after stage 1, because for that you obviously need to have that partnerships and you need to have that knowledge.
Definitely. But I think for us, stage 2 is taking a step further.
Sure.
Because again, you really want to disrupt, right? And just an app is not going to do it.
Sure.
You really want to change the way laundry is perceived in the
That's
market.
some big ambitions. That's some big ambitions.
Your stage 2 needs to be something that once you've really worked on stage 1 and you've mastered it, you're there, you've got brand equity, you've got the customers. Stage 2 needs to be a bank, right?
Okay.
It needs to be something huge. And we have a strategy set in place, but how well we do in stage 1 will define stage 2. And that's really going in with a bang when it comes to this industry.
You know what you could do as an A/B test, but you're not going to be able to do it in this market, sadly. You should try and see if mobile gambling strategies or the pay-to-win strategy is applicable to your business model. That instead of buying with hard cash that laundry service, you buy app currency, like how video games work, right? And then using that currency to purchase the thing. That you create a little friction, which you never normally want to do.
So doobi wallet.
So with doobi wallet, right? But doobi-ish, because you're still having dinar as that currency, right?
Yeah,
instead of a doobi coin, right?
Yeah.
But if you can get that transition happening, and especially if you can make that currency rate between the two different enough that people they're too lazy to calculate how much 1 dinar is to a doobi dinar.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how these game industries lock you in.
Gamification, yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's not so much gamification, but yeah, we can cut that part out if you want.
Are you guys taking notes?
You can keep the video. I'm sending it to you.
This is your 4th idea. I love them.
Sorry. That's just how my brain works.
It's good. It's good. It's nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're just giving us new ideas, which is interesting. We also, the reason why I said gamification, we had this idea, one of our team members is, why don't we launch a game within the app?
Okay.
And we set like a score. Whoever achieves the score gets points.
Okay.
And this points, you can use it to purchase laundry.
Okay.
And it's these points, you can either get these points by winning in the game, in the application, whatever that game is.
Mm-hmm.
Can be like Candy Crush or whatever, something similar as a concept. Or you can buy these points.
Mm-hmm.
And if you buy these points, this kind of goes towards very similar to what you were talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having your own currency in the app. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there are lots of ideas to kind of integrate the way games are set up today.
Sure. I mean, by doing that, so this is the old adage, right? With the app and social media complexes, is that it's all about the eyeballs. How much attention can you demand from the user? The more somebody spends on Netflix, the less they're going to spend on YouTube or Amazon, right? And I don't necessarily know if that business model necessarily works is with yours frictionlessly, or if there's a little bit of a problem or an issue, because I don't necessarily see someone saying like, oh, you know what, I'm going to open this app game in order to play this game, unless it's really, really fun. Like Snake?
It has to be really, really fun.
Maybe Snake.
And it has to be a throwback.
Maybe Snake. Maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. That like a Nintendo old game or yeah.
But then you need to reward them, right?
Sure.
Hit the score and you get...
Sure, you have to hit the dopamine.
Definitely.
Yeah, right?
There's one of the nice ideas that came up recently. So we work on these brainstorming sessions, which I'd love to have you a part of.
Thank you.
And this was one of the ideas that really caught my attention. I liked it for some reason, but we didn't execute it yet.
Cue, craving, response, reward. That's how you build any kind of addiction. I shouldn't use that word. That's how you build any kind of habit.
And the idea is just get them on the app.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think getting them on the app is the first step, but I think that the second step is obviously trying to get them to spend the money. And I don't know, do you offer cash service as well or not really? Do you think that could be a bottleneck at all?
Not today.
Not today?
Especially in Bahrain. Bahrain has done a really good job with benefit pay, with all these tap and go. Apple Pay is here now. For cash is really slow these days. I have a 20 BD in my pocket that's been there for a while.
Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you reach out to LinkedIn? Why don't you message through LinkedIn to one of the managers in Talabat and see if you can strike up a conversation or see if whatever groups they hang out with, and just go straight up and ask them, say, hey, you know what? I've been using Talabat for years, and I was just wondering, do you guys even use cash? How many people actually use cash on your platform? Because I can tell you, I generally use cash on Talabat. Till today, generally, because that way I can give the guy a tip.
You can still give him a tip.
How?
If you have cash.
Yeah, but I have like 20 BD. And if the food comes, what am I going to do? Give it 20 BD? No way.
Yeah, I see where you're going with this. Yeah, I mean, the whole tip.
I don't think...
but that brings up another point. There was this article I read. So when this whole digitization and everyone is spending online, spending using cards, cashless, right? Frictionless, a lot of the people who used to get tips got affected. Because when these companies were building all of these payment methods, they forgot about the whole tip feature. And that was a big issue that was going on. However, you see a lot of these companies now have this tip option. I'm not sure if Talabat have it. I always thought they did.
I'm not sure. It's not easy to find if it is. I haven't seen it. Right. Uber Eats does it.
Yeah.
Deliveroo does it.
Uber had it for a while now. And
oh man, Uber is a great study program for you guys, because they've really honed into everything from Uber Wallet to Uber reward system, Uber subscription.
Exactly. So one of the narratives or one of the things that I tell the team. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just had a lightning bolt for you. If you have well-endowed connections necessarily, or anyone else here can use this idea as well, see if you can contact them and say, hey, listen, you know what? For your employees, because you're my buddy, I want to give them a discount because they work at your place.
Yeah, that works really well.
That, especially to get more locked in paid consumers and building that goodwill.
That we started, and a lot of them approached us with that.
Really?
Like, listen, and the way we're doing it today is twofold, right? Number one, it's employee to employee. So hypothetically, you have a gym. If my employees come to your gym, they get a discount. Your employees use doobi, they get a discount. But we've also taken it further to your customers, my customers.
Sure.
My customers go to your gym, they get a discount. Your customers come to doobi, they get a discount.
Sure.
And it works like magic.
Sure.
Works really well. So yeah, I agree. Let's go. I want to go back. I want to touch a bit more on the whole Uber point.
Go for it.
One thing that I tell the team is, so when I was in the States, I was there before and after Uber.
Okay.
فلحقت على الأيام where at least where I used to live ما كان في Uber. And this is the impact of Uber, right? Back in the day when I wanted a cab, my military days, I had to call the call center. Wait 10 minutes. They respond. Try to explain to them where you are. Even though you say the name of the campus, which side of the campus, it's a huge campus. Until you explain it to them. Okay, fine, done. They tell you the guy's gonna get there in 30 minutes, he gets there in 45. Hello, no worries. So you've done this, the guy is late. You get in the car, مع كل احترامي, smells bad. Tells you, where do you want to go? You tell him. Says, fine. And then he plays whatever he's doing. He's on the phone. Doesn't care about you.
Always racist. Always saying fucked up shit every time.
Interesting conversation. It can be entertainment if you're into that.
Yeah.
Takes you from point A to point B, but never at the door, because what's convenient for him to continue or to leave, right? So he drops you off here. That's the door. He says, you want to leave or what? So you pay him cash, leave. To me, that was a terrible experience. Every time I wanted to go somewhere, I knew I had to hail a cab. It was bad. And when you're on the street, you just wave your hand like an idiot, right? What did Uber do? Uber took, I would say, that leverage, that power from the industry, gave it to the consumer, right?
Sure.
Because their concept, who's in control? It's the consumer. Consumer has to be happy for the Uber driver to succeed, to continue working. It's all about the ratings. So now you get in a car, you order a car through an app, you know how long he needs to get to you. You get in the car, it smells good, he has a water bottle some of the times for you. You can hook up your AUX back in the day, or Bluetooth, right? Sure. Listen to your own music, and he drops you exactly where you want to go. The whole experience changed by one simple factor. You take the leverage away turn it from a commodity and make it a service. Sure. And that's what we're trying to do for doobi. We want you, for example, whether you're in Bahrain, Saudi, Masr, Singapore, You only know one way of doing laundry, which is doobi, and it's the same experience. Because with Uber, whether I'm in New York or I'm in London or I'm in Italy, it doesn't matter. Because all I have to do is pull out the app. It's the exact same way of hailing a cab. I don't have to know how it's done in this country. I just do it the Uber way. It's globalized.
Okay, I hear what your bigger dream is. Okay.
And that's what we want to do for Doobi.
Okay.
Doesn't matter the language you speak, the country you're in, this is how you will do laundry. And it's the same app, same process, same everything.
I get where you're coming from. I really get where you're coming from. I think there's going to be a little bit of friction because you won't be able to have it as streamlined as Uber has it, because what you need is an Uber driver, a car, and a driver's license, right? Maybe insurance, but that's not even totally required, and you're on the go. Now with your your laundry service business, it is almost similar to Airbnb, where you require the partner, you require that industry. So you could in theory hire some van and a dude, hire an Uber driver, hire whoever to pick up the laundry for the customer and then give it to that supplier. But that would mean you wouldn't have that control that you would love, the quality control that Doobi has, right? Because now you're totally reliant on that driver that you don't really know, putting in the van that is hopefully somewhat clean to deliver it to a partner who can keep to your standards.
Logistically is not as streamlined as Uber. But it is possible.
I think so too.
So finding a logistics partner doesn't necessarily have to be regular users, because again, with laundry, it's not like food or a cab. So you need very specific sizes of vans. They need to have the rails. They need to have all of these things. But that more or less wouldn't apply. But you're dependent on the partner. Luckily, laundry is one of the oldest industries known to man.
I think
it's everywhere.
I think the way to make it work, I think the only way, and this is years ahead, I mean, this is not anything you're going to be able to do in the next 5 years unless you have some massive cash injection and some massive backing from the big four to make this work, is to have a office in each continent, right? That European office that can deal with sorting out and upkeep with your Italian customers, with your French customers, with your German customers, with your English customers, because you will systematically need to go and check those partners.
You need to have hubs.
Exactly.
And that's what we're doing. يعني إن شاء الله باكر نفتح في السعودية.
Okay.
We're gonna have a hub there.
Exactly.
Right? You need to.
Like with McDonald's, they go and inspect every one of their McDonald's at least once a year.
Good point. Now you brought up McDonald's.
Sure.
Let's say we're going to emerging markets that don't have these large-scale facilities.
Okay.
What do you do there?
You mean either wait till it's been built or invest and build it, and then hope to find a partner who's running to run it.
McDonald's, you franchise.
Sure.
You show them the numbers, you show them the business that you'll provide, they build it, they manage it, you give them the customers, you do the marketing, you manage the logistics.
I don't think it's that easy with any kind of a franchise business like that.
Have you seen the movie? I like to reference this movie.
Sure.
I think it's on Netflix. For the McDonald's, it's called The Founder.
Yeah. He owns the land and not the McDonald's.
But did you see initially how he franchised? Picking the partners. What went wrong in the beginning? Exactly.
I don't remember. It was a long time
very
ago.
similar example to what you mentioned and how he fixed it going forward. So what I'm trying to say is with every franchise, this risk is there. It's how you set up the business model to ensure that your processes are followed, your business model is being applied, right? It's a risk.
Yeah, habibi, but don't forget that you're assuming that the best of intentions, right? So you're not assuming that your franchisors are going to be greedy or going to mess around.
You have to assume that, but you need to have controls in place to be able to mitigate that.
Sure, but that's easier said than done. I mean, for something like that to occur, you definitely have to speak to some VP or a C-level guy from McDonald's and try to somehow poach him to come work for you. That's the only way I can see that model working.
Well, I see it's been done. It can be done again.
Sure.
With the proper controls in place, it can be done. You'll make mistakes, you'll mess up, you'll improve your controls, but you can get to 11.
Also, we forgot one key thing. Unless Habibi, you have your headquarters in the US, unless you somehow make sure you have a US citizenship, unless you have something of that nature, I think that's the part we might have to cut out. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. There's a reason why Apple, Google, McDonald's, Burger King, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all of these are American brands, right? The U.S. uses its political force in order to push out those brands everywhere.
Yeah.
When Japan didn't want to accept Xboxes into the country, they actually had a ban of Xboxes in order to support their own economy. The U.S. military got involved and said, no, you're going to take these Xboxes. So that's the power of the U.S. military. So unless you can somehow use that force and being headquartered in America, I don't know how you'd be able to control that franchisor experience.
In America?
No, globally. Do you get what I'm saying, or not really much?
Ish.
Because you need backing when you're working at global scale.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely. And
forget financial backing. You need soft power backing.
You need access to markets.
That too, absolutely.
And you
absolutely.
definitely need access to markets, and you need...
And regulators not kicking you up the ass.
You need to be able to manage regulators. You need to be able to lobby. But again, it's all of this is possible. It has been done. It can be done. I'm not saying it should be done for doobi. ولكن it's on the table.
No, Habibi, I don't want to discourage you. My concern and my worry only is, can you name one British company other than Dyson that has succeeded internationally?
Why'd you pick on British specifically?
Because British is the only brand that I can think of that has good products, but they're all gone. Jaguar is owned by Tata.
Yeah.
Land Rover is owned by Tata. Rolls-Royce is owned by BMW, I think, or Mercedes.
Cadbury.
Or something like that, right?
No, I'm asking you. Cadbury is
owned by US Nestle.
Interesting.
It's all gone. And even the board of Microsoft and the board of Porsche has American board members on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's been gnawing on my head.
Because at the end of the day, I think people say, the American economy is suffering, blah 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 blah. But really, if you look at the strength of these guys in the American economy, American economy is a mammoth globally.
And not just that, Habibi. When people talk about China and they say like, oh, competing power, they don't realize that the people who are on the board are Americans, right? The people who own these Goliath of companies are Americans.
We moved into one of the offices from Harrag, and it was a new kind of retail stores in front of us. They're building them some of them are half finished today. But there were 2 drive-thrus. And they were building them, right? So we're saying, oh, guys, everyone's excited. Or what are they going to bring? Food in terms of holiday. So bets are Starbucks, McDonald's. What else again? Starbucks, McDonald's. A few months later, Starbucks, McDonald's. So this is the strength of these American brands. They're mammoths. They're amazing. You can learn a lot from them. I'm not saying compete with them.
Not even compete, Habib, but if you start a company right now, let's look at your company right now. You could very easily end up like with Sonia's position, where her brand is being stolen, duplicates aren't being done. She's going to court in Saudi, she's going to court in Qatar and in Kuwait and UAE, but there's no enforcement. There's no enforcement because it's GCSE brand. However, if Apple or Nike or any of the American brands this happened to, I can promise you that shit would be shut down like this, right? And that's one of the concerns that you need to look into, Habibi.
Which is normal everywhere, huh?
I agree, absolutely. Not to the same scale.
Of course, not on the same scale, but what you said is true to a certain degree everywhere.
No, I agree. The
bigger you are, the more leverage you have.
No, I agree. Everything has its advantages, disadvantages, and you're always going to have competitors entering the market as soon as you're profitable. That's normal. The question is to put barriers of entry on, and if you can make partnerships, like imagine if you can get all these Talabat drivers. Imagine you could have access to all those drivers, hypothetically. right? And that they could just pick up like the clothing from if a customer's already ordered from Talabat and then bring it over. You're looking at me like you really thought about this.
To a certain degree.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
This and a lot of many other things that we can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really? I mean, if you really look for something, if it's on your mind, you'll find it. And being in the business, you kind of notice a lot of these, I would say, hacks on getting on the road.
Growth hacks. Yeah. And how do you want to do it with the drivers? Do you want to own the drivers? Do you want to own the vehicles? Or do you want to be where it's a separate app where somebody can apply to be a driver?
No, at the end of the day, I mean, if you really want to scale, this is something that you have to outsource. Right? It doesn't make sense for you to keep and manage these drivers as your employees. You need to find the right model that really makes sense for them, that protects them as drivers, protects your users, and works well with your laundry facilities. You need to have that balance.
Very political answer. I love it.
But what, it's true. It's true. It's really true. And we're not there yet. So we're trying. We want to get there. But we took a conscious decision day one not to outsource. Day one. And the reason why we did that is because, again, the three of us, the four of us, the whole team, we don't have experience in logistics. But we also know that we don't like how the current market in terms of laundry manages its logistics. We don't approve of it. And that's why we're here. So we said, let's get our own drivers. We'll procure the cars. Doesn't matter what model we use. And we'll build the whole process, the whole journey, all the touch points from the ground up. So that we get to a level where we know exactly how to train new drivers, and we know exactly how to manage the logistics going forward to be able to scale.
Yeah, I can't imagine how much of a headache that is.
Day one, we knew zero in terms of logistics.
Yeah.
I have this Excel file that I think I'm going to print and put on the wall of how one of the partners and I try to strategize logistics. If you look at it, you're going to laugh. But this was us day one because we knew nothing. But ask us again today, right?
How do you do it? Do you break it up into areas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most sensible, right?
That's the most sensible. But there's a lot of things that you can do to optimize. And it's different for every market or every field that you're in, right?
Okay, yeah.
When it comes to F&B, it's different on how you optimize laundry. When it comes to like DHL, everyone has their own type of niche, their own type of tactic within their niche. If you look at us today, the way we are utilizing and optimizing logistics, amazing. And we are achieving utilization of slots, available slots, way above 90%.
Oh, wow.
And doing that and knowing that day one we knew nothing tells you a lot, right? It's not impossible.
Absolutely.
We didn't have to hire somebody who had all this experience. We had to learn ourselves to figure it out. So we're at a level where we know how to optimize logistics. We know how to train the drivers. We know exactly what we expect. So we're ready to outsource now. Because we can set the standards today, which we didn't in day one. Day one, we would have gotten into outsourcing logistics blindly.
Dan, can you open the image again on Instagram? Can you show me a bag? Any bag?
Do you see our car?
Because I was just thinking in my head, in long term, in order to maximize your space, is if you put a sealing function, so like a vacuum at the back of the truck or the van that can seal the air out.
Nice.
Therefore, you can save about 60% of your space, or maybe even 80% of the space of the bag is just mostly air. So as you tightly sealed it, that means you can fit more clothing into one vehicle.
That's a good idea.
Sorry.
I'll tell you why. Because we were thinking of a sealing mechanism for another reason. So we never thought of vacuum sealing to give you more space. That's actually a good idea.
No, I mean, it's more space for your van, right? Then you can stack more clothes to it, less trips, less back and forth.
Exactly.
More money saved.
For example, one of the things that we did initially, this is part of the learning process, is that we had, so this is your pickup. When we pick up items, it looks like this. Could you go out? I'll show you another photo. So if you could go back, please. Yeah, scroll down. Down. Okay, the photo on the left. Top left, yeah, this one.
Left, the clothing done.
Yeah.
That one there.
That one was the pickup, and this is how the drop-off looks like, right?
Mm.
That's how it is when it came to us. This is how it's coming back to you. Hello?
حلو ونص.
Okay. Initially, what we were doing is the car used to be a mixture of both. Now what we're doing is a car only has pickups, another car only has this. You're utilizing the space more. For pickups, you can kind of put them, or not squeeze them, but push them more than you would because they're all in the bag anyways. And they're all closed and sealed to Hobby. But when it comes to ready items, you need to be very delicate. You need to hang them in specific ways. The car can't be overcramped, right? And this helped us optimize our utilization, the efficiency. One of the few things that we've learned along the way.
If what you could do for logistics, you could get a metal bar like a shower curtain, put it in the van where you hang up the clothes, right?
It's already there, yeah.
It's already there. But put blockets like wooden block or whatever else that has a number, 15 to 15, for example, 15 to 16, 16 to 17.
Hello.
And so every time when the driver delivers, he looks at the number, says 16. He knows it's exactly that. He doesn't have to look at every shirt.
True.
Are you doing that already or not?
Yes, with a barcode.
With a barcode.
With a barcode.
Okay, so that's more control then. But that means also that every time it's being delivered, a scan is being made. Therefore, the same units that are being taken in is the same units taking out.
And it's segregated based on delivery.
But if you do
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, based on your first, second, third, fourth, fifth delivery.
Sure. But if you do that in the back end, when the loading is being done, then that's less time on the driver.
Could you repeat this part?
So if you're at if you're in the cleaning facility right now,
Hello.
as you're packing it in, you scan it.
Yes.
Right? So because it cannot disappear between the van and the house.
Correct.
Right? And so that means that the driver has less time spent on the ground not driving. Because you want to optimize his delivery.
Yes.
Get rid of him scanning each item at the delivery point and rather scan each item at the check-in point, at the facility. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Therefore, you're not stopping every time you're stopping a place, bam, 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 bam. You do it all in once at the facility.
We do it in the facility.
Sure.
But we also do it once we deliver.
Why are you double scanning it? Are you worried that it's going to get lost in the vehicle?
It's to ensure that all of the items that the customer ordered went back to the customer. And the scan literally takes seconds in this because the driver doesn't have to tag, he just scans.
Okay.
So for every order at the facility, he scans and they're all received.
Okay.
Once he gets to the customer at the customer's door, while he's already there, he just scans one barcode.
Okay.
Order delivered.
Oh, one barcode.
Yeah, order delivered.
Okay.
And I think DHL and FedEx do it the same way because it automates everything. Once the driver scans, customer gets a notification, the system is updated, everything is kind of streamlined, and then this has been handed over to the customer.
Okay, good. So you do have people who are actually putting thought into it. Okay, perfect. Because when you were telling me on the business, I was thinking, okay, what are the key steps that is probably not optimized yet? And that's how then my brain then goes down.
When we started Doobi, we had no driver app, no laundry management system as we call it, so no laundry app. Everything was done manually.
No CRM, no nothing.
Nothing. And we did that on purpose. It's because we wanted to build the laundry app and the driver app after we started operations.
Sure.
Because in my previous experience, the previous jobs, I've seen that we've overbuilt too many services that nobody ever used. And of course, طبعا as a bootstrap startup, initially you need to kind of
cut weight.
Exactly. فقلنا start, know exactly what you want, and then build. So it was an interesting first 30 days with no system, just managing everything manually. It was crazy.
That must have been a nightmare. How many people were yelling at you at that point?
We were yelling at ourselves.
That must have been crazy. That must have been absolutely crazy.
We were all over the place.
But by the way, if you don't understand the concept of the show, is what my dream is that when I invite somebody back about like 3 to 6 months, I'd love to explore what has happened. Does that make sense? So that's why my attitude is always constantly like either giving feedback or asking questions or something like that. Because my biggest dream is if as I meet people again in 6 months or 3 months, that they're like, hey, you know what? We were here and then we were there.
Especially with startups, because man, we have a lot going on daily. A lot of things can change in one day.
Absolutely.
I'm sure I'll have another story to tell you
Absolutely.
definitely in
Absolutely.
6 months. Yeah.
Absolutely. So do you only run this business or do you have a second business at the same time?
All my time is focused on this. It
Okay.
has to be.
Okay.
For the ambitions that we have, it has to be. So
Show me some more pictures, Danny boy. Just scroll up and down. Okay. I really like what you're doing with your marketing.
thanks. So it's kind of catering towards the whole lifestyle approach more than your standard. Here's laundry, here's the prices, here's a discount, right? So we try to keep it more about the lifestyle, about how people perceive laundry, how people would feel after using laundry, because you get that good positive reinforcement when laundry is done. It's like food, right?